Okay, Richard Durbin, what would actually come of that? Like, if you guys pushed this to the federal court level, first of all, how long is that going to take? Because the hearing is next month. Then you've got to go to this council thing. So it would have to be rejected by the council in order to get to federal court. And you have to have a lawyer for that because so far, none of these lawyers seem to think that that's even a case. And what would that accomplish? I mean, is that something where you're trying to get everyone's social security applications approved? Because we didn't really have to do that with the food, did we? Unless people are still being denied the SNAP food, which we need to find out. People need to report that to us if they applied for SNAP and they were denied. I know the DTA is not doing the cash anymore. So, and in Quincy, I wasn't able to get anyone to sign off on that. In terms of a disability, I'm not sure where that's going. If it's some sort of a thing where they're trying to say that I'm not disabled. I'm not sure how much that helps or not, like why that would be going on. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be grandiose here, and I just didn't really want to go that avenue. I'm more of an anti government person rather than sort of now I'm going to go through your church or your government that I don't even believe should exist. I'm not sure that in terms of like the federal court. I mean, are they going to just tell me that that has nothing to do with what I'm even in the process of doing? That's just to get a disability check, and in what amount would that be? Because I was just discussing with someone, if I got this big retro check, that I could then go back to Florida and just rent something and try to help people on the ground. But it's like if I'm just going around giving people $2, how is that really any different than what I was just complaining that is going on with the social services there? I don't know if you can. I figured it's a process that all kinds of people are in, and it's not just about me, where these judges and stuff and these people working for Social Security are supposed to begin to realize how this isn't right, that something isn't right here. And this feels weird, and why do we have people appearing at these hearings like they're on trial, and the testimony and stuff that they are sort of like hopefully going in their minds, this is weird, I can't keep doing this anymore. Because from what I saw in Orlando, there's hundreds of people that are at least at the Social Security office and they're not there to get cards. So I don't know if they're in the same thing. One of the people I spoke to, I'm not sure what he was going there for, because he said he already, I believe he said he already had a check. So I don't know, unless it's just going to be pushed, this concept that you are guaranteed life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So how are you asking people why they can't work in terms of that, in terms of your constitutionality? crisis, which is on many levels, but that's one of them. That how are you demanding that people have to work to live here? And if you're keeping a tax and no land offering, that you have to give these people the stipend in order to live, because that's the system that you established and you're supporting. The free speech issue is really a very big one for me, because of what happened. I mean, it's all just multifaceted, which it seems to all be sort of culminating into you're trying to force everyone to work, and that this one thing with the DCF, the intent was to help this man get out of alimony. So your intent was to help this man get out of alimony, and you're the state, and you actually helped him do that, and you're a lawyer, and you are an officer of the court, which is also part of the government, and that you are supporting this man getting out of paying alimony. And not only that, but you're trying to get the entire state to get rid of alimony. And then you're not approving stipends and housing and food for these women. Mostly, I'm sure there's probably some men too, who you're saying, these men shouldn't have to pay. With that, you're basically saying that men own women, that that's a property right to them. And when they're in this marriage, there's not an issue with them supporting them. But then as soon as the woman doesn't want to have relations and doesn't want to be married to this man anymore, he shouldn't have to support her. That is basically saying that men buy wives. And how sort of strange does that seem? And in terms of fairness, why did the woman not have to work when she was in this marriage with this man, and now all of a sudden she's expected to work, and also the man isn't expected to support her, and now you're saying that the state isn't expected to support her? So that to me, that doesn't rationale, that doesn't make any sense, other than just a really scary concept of family, the importance of a mother, and men owning women. I mean, we're getting to the point now where we're actually openly admitting that we think that men own women. And if she's not engaged in this marriage with him, that she should have to work. So that's why usually on the paperwork it will state, what was I doing for work before. I'm not sure if this was mentioned in the paperwork, but it's like nannies can collect unemployment and mothers cannot. So in terms of your social crisis, that would have been a simple thing where women can collect unemployment if they were mothers. That there's some sort of a thing for them where they're taken care of. That was the point of alimony. And it's one thing if the man is no longer able to do that, but that's never been indicated to me. No one's ever stated to me that Alfred just can't afford anything, not even $1 a month. He's never sent me a penny in all of these years. So, I mean, clearly that's understandable. Your alimony is based on what you're making for money. So if he's not making any money, then he can't pay me anything. That's not this case, from my understanding. And just everything that happened, and then a lawyer saying that he can claim abandonment. So it's basically you're supporting men doing this, that they're using DCF, they're charging you with an unconstitutional charge. You have psychics, that's at work in Florida, because that was also one of the charges, said she was psychic, where that's a work. Whereas if I opened up a little shop and I began to read tarot cards and things and got paid, that wouldn't be neglect. But that was used in order to help a man get out of his alimony and his child support and all of the property, including the home. And you're also supporting that a man can scare the crap out of his wife so that she won't come back to a state and then say that she abandoned it. when a woman's telling you that she's been living in hiding from her husband in fear for 7 years, and then you go, oh, well, they could get you with abandonment. It's like, why aren't you, even as a lawyer, chopping at the bit? Like, what? What's going on? Like, you would think a lawyer would see dollar signs or something, or at least getting his name in the paper. That's usually what draws lawyers, especially like that guy, to be like, wow, this could be like a really precedent case. And it was like something within that man didn't want to even deal with that. And he doesn't even know me from a hole in the wall. He didn't even ask me for an ID or anything. I specifically told him that I'm Mary, that's my name. Like, not like, hello, I'm the Virgin Mary. I was like, yeah, Mary. Sometimes I do sort of get a little bit cocky because it's been 7 years all over the internet. It's like, come on, you haven't heard of this? You haven't heard of Anonymous? That seems not rational. Everyone's heard of Anonymous. So it's kind of like you're turning down this case. That's kind of strange to me. That a lawyer who is an ambulance chaser doesn't smell money there. So anyways, what I was getting at is kind of like what's going to happen with this Social Security hearing, which I'm really not looking forward to, because it's kind of like, why am I even here? You tell me why I'm here, which I'm sure is not going to get someone approved. It's like, how about if you tell me why I'm here rather than I tell you why I'm here? Like, you explain to me how all this happened. Clearly, my ultimate goal would be to dismantle the U.S. government and the monetary system, me personally. If that's not going to happen, or if it's just not supposed to happen in that way, which I don't see why it would be supposed to happen in that way. This is not, let's roll out the dark, and, she gets all of this media attention and stuff, and gets all of this, like, she took down the U.S. government, because that's not even what's going on. People are taking down the U.S. government, not me. So it's like, I don't know if that's really like the best way to go with it, unless you're gonna do it and it's just gonna say anonymous, and it's not gonna say a person's name. Sort of like Anonymous versus the U.S. government or something like that. Because I'm not comfortable doing it like that. I guess I don't think that that's right. the thing the thing that I would like about it is because it's really touching on so many issues about the family unit and motherhood, and sort of like how you kind of know that you've gone way off the deep end in terms of your life, and like the purpose of life, and what makes people happy and stuff like that. I think that would be good for women, but I don't know if that could be done again with just having it be anonymous and not a person's name. Um, you would think when you have so many of these hearings that you're so backlogged 60 months to get a hearing date, that you would realize something is really like going on here. One thing I don't approve of is people that are getting checks and then they're continuing to work. I don't approve of that. Because if there were no slaves, then the system couldn't work. It couldn't function, and this would have been over. And then you have people that are working because they can't get these checks. They have, and they don't want to be left on the street, like I just explained to you happened to me. We can't be expecting people to be doing that, and young people and young women left on the streets like that all over this country. We can't expect that from people. So it's like, if you're already getting a check where you should be able to either rent a room or live in a shelter and live pretty comfortably because you're not paying rent, and then you continue to work. And then there's some people that were expressing anger to me that you're still panhandling because you're drinking all of your check or whatever it is you're doing with your money. If you're doing something where you are getting a check and you've got a room, but you still sort of want this idea to come to pass. So you're out there panhandling so it doesn't appear that there's no homeless people, and maybe you're doing something else with that money. You're giving it away to people, or you're donating food or something. That's different because you're not in the workforce. It's very, very important, if you can, to not be in the workforce, because in order to keep the system going, you have to have slaves. Okay, and when you don't have slaves, your system completely falls apart. Okay, and then and that can spiral. Once you start tempting yourself, that can spiral into other things where now you've got to have a car because you're working, or you can afford to go out to a restaurant because you have your check and you have this work money. You can get wrapped up in the delusion again when you're around all these delusional people and you're not talking like this, like openly about what's going on, and you're sort of like in the acting world. You can get caught up in that, and that not only spreads the appearance that everybody's a sociopath and this is not going to happen and I just want to commit suicide or something. Not only are you spreading that aura around, but you're hurting people by continuing to support a slavery system. Yes.